The Divine Order set is finally locked after many months of waiting. What does this mean for you and your cards? That means they can no longer be purchased from packs, and they can no longer be rebalanced. These cards are locked forever. This provides some interesting opportunities to pick up cards that might be worth more value in the future. There's a couple of events coming up in Gods Unchained that could cause supply shock. I'm going to tell you about those and go over all the cards that I think are worth picking up now that they're locked. So first of all, the events that are coming up, we have Daily Play to Earn is coming up very soon, and higher tier forging is coming up within the next few weeks. They said end of May or early June, so it should be here soon. If it is, every time someone forges 5 meteorite cards, they vanish from existence, and there can never be more minted, and 1 shadow comes into existence. Every time 5 shadows are forged into 1 gold, those 5 shadows are gone, 1 gold is minted. Every time 5 golds are forged into 1 diamond, the 5 golds are gone and 1 diamond comes into existence. What this means is that many cards could just go out of supply if people start to forge higher tier shines. Why would you forge a higher tier shine? When Daily Play to Earn gets here, the higher the shine of your deck, the more money you earn per day. We don't know all the logistics behind how this will work yet, so it may or may not even be worth doing this. So I'm going to give you guys the top 15 cards that you can pick up right now before supply shock potentially happens. Do your own research. None of this is financial advice. If you want to pick up any of these cards off TokenTrove, you can actually use my ref link in the description below. It's free to you to use, and I get a piece of the TokenTrove fee. I appreciate it if you use it. So let's look at the top 15 cards here, in my opinion, of the Divine Order set now that it's locked. You've got Necrocepter, which of course is just a busted relic where you get infinite zombies for free. However, the deck that it goes with isn't that great. Zombies are not the top of the food chain. If, however, zombies ever get some more support, well, then this relic could become a real problem. Next, we've got Guild Enforcer. This is a frontline armor 1 creature. It's very versatile. It is neutral, so you can use it in every single deck. It's just a big body with armor, which makes it hard to kill. It's got frontline, so you can't go around it. And it's guild and has armor, so therefore it works very well in hidden rush decks. You can have guild decks where you just hide this guy every single turn with your god power, which normally would do 1 damage, but this has armor, so it doesn't take any damage. So this is a very good card. Next, we have Safeguard Incantation. This is being used in a lot of combo decks these days. You can draw a card, you give ward and protected to your god. It's a very, very valuable card against combo decks because giving your god ward can actually just instantly invalidate an entire combo deck that really needed you to not have ward. Next, we have Shaped Blast. Pick 1, deal 5 damage to each creature with frontline or 3 damage to each creature without frontline. This is a massive board wipe. It's probably the best board wipe that Magic has right now, and therefore it's just worth having, especially in like ramp Magic decks or control Magic decks. Next up, we've got Miraculous Familiar. He's great in tempo Magic decks. He's blessed, so you're going to gain favor or maybe steal favor or get a free little zombie. Blessed is a very nice bonus here, but it's not even the good part of the card. After you play your first spell each turn, add a random spell to your hand. That is insane. You can get any spell in the entire game added to your hand, all for the price of just playing a spell you're going to play anyway. And suddenly you could have Apocalypse Now. You're playing as Magic. Your opponent has no idea that you're about to play this card because it got randomly added to your hand. This is just such insane value. And in the same vein, we have Celestial Stag, also blessed, also not the best part of this card. After you play your first creature each turn, excluding this creature, add a random nature card to your hand. Again, adding random cards to your hand. Your opponent has no way to play against it. They have no idea what you're getting. This can give you Dionysus, the Bountiful, and just end games when you get to 9 mana. Or give you things that are even crazier before then, and your opponent just has no way of knowing what's about to happen. Imperium Pacifist is a nice little snowball. If you play this on turn 1, and then also pip out a second creature, this has backline, so it hides behind it, and it gains 1 health every time you summon a creature. If this is not dealt with, all of Light's buffs keep hitting it, and this thing can literally live the entire game if not dealt with immediately. Lightning Talisman has been a bane of everyone's existence recently. It is very strong. After your god is damaged, deal 2 damage to the strongest enemy creature and 1 damage to the weakest other enemy creature, and remove 1 durability from this relic. It has 3 durability, so your creatures are just getting slaughtered as your opponent played a single relic. It is very obnoxious to deal with, even if you damage your opponent. If you have no creatures on board, it doesn't even remove the durability. So this thing is just very sticky. Next up, we have Armor Lurker. He's going to almost always 2 for 1 for 2 mana. He is able to take out a 3 health creature, such as, let's say, a Wild Hog or a Switch Duelist. He has hidden armor 2. After this creature loses hidden, remove 1 armor. So you drop it, it's hidden. Your opponent can't kill it. It's very sticky. 2 armor is very tough to deal to a hidden creature. And you actually need to deal 3 to the hidden creature in order to kill it. So therefore, it hides for 1 turn. Your opponent plays a creature. You trade your creature into theirs. Yours survives because it has 2 armor. And now in order for them to kill this, they need to sack another card. Being able to 2 for 1 your opponent on turn 1 or turn 2 is just huge. If you can get both of these out early, you're in great shape. Stone Skin Poison can also work extremely well in decks with the Armor Lurker. This can also work in control decks, aggro decks, hidden decks. This just works in every deck for Deception. It's such a great card because it can both be an offensive card and a defensive card. If you just need to get rid of your opponent's creatures, you give them burn and order. It now can't attack for 2 turns, and it's got burn, so it's hopefully going to burn up. And if offensively you're playing a hidden rush type of deck, you can only use your god power once per turn. You want to be able to hide your own creatures. So you can hide your opponent's creatures so you can swing face, but then you can't hide your own creatures. But if you use Stone Skin Poison, it gives order +3, which effectively hides their creature. You can swing face and still god power your own creature at the end of the turn. Next we have Patient Pickpocket. This guy has flank, order 3. After this creature's order reaches 0, add a copy of a random card in your opponent's hand to your hand. So this is just a 1/3 body for 1 mana, and it's guild, so it works great in those guild hidden rush decks or any type of control deception deck. And when the order reaches 0, you get to steal a card from your opponent's hand, which means 1, you get to know what your opponent is holding, and 2, you get a copy of it. Obviously, that is huge value. You get a creature, and it replaces itself with something from your opponent's hand. Great value. Next, we are into the legendary cards. We have Odie, Valka's Herald. This guy is protected. After this creature attacks your opponent's god, reduce by 1 the cost of a random highest mana cost creature in your hand. It's a 3/2 Viking. Also for 3 mana, 3/2 protected Viking, you have Raid Reveler, and this just also has all this extra awesome text where it can reduce some really crazy cards in your hand. You could reduce Valka or something from 9 mana down to 8. You can reduce Demogorgons from 7 mana down to 6. You can do all kinds of nasty things with Odie. I recommend it. All right, and in third place here, we've got Finney and Fruitbearer. At the end of your turn, if you're frenzied, summon a 1/1 Vibrant Fruit. They recently added the Wild tag, and as you may know, wild nature is very wild and very strong, very fast. You can buff all your creatures with things like Wildfire. If you throw in Finian, he's effectively a 2 mana 4/4 worth of stats. You get Finian's body, he's a 2/2. It summons a Vibrant Fruit, is a 1/1, and the Vibrant Fruit gives another creature of yours +1/+1 when it dies. So that's 4/4 worth of stats as a floor for a 2 mana card. Then it has infinite upside where every single turn you get more Vibrant Fruits. So this needs to be dealt with immediately. If you can get it out behind a frontliner, you're in great shape. If you're able to even get it out for 1 turn and you've got a wide board, you're going to be in good shape. There's a lot of easy relics to get yourself frenzied in nature as well. They all have Twin Strike. You've got the Faeflane Blade, which you can swing with 4 times, and you've got the Staff of Roots, which you can swing with twice. And if you go face, You're easily frenzied. You easily get the Vibrant Fruit. This guy's really good. And with the new Wild tag, he's even better. Then we have Polyhymnia, which is a neutral card. So this can go in any control deck. And every control deck ever plays this because it is the best 9-drop in the game. It has Frontline, Protected, Ward, and 4 armor. So basically, this just can't die. And at the end of your turn, give Ward to this creature. Of course, there are some ways to kill it. You can give it Order and obliterate it. You can transform it into something different if you pop the Ward first. There are ways to deal with this, but not in an aggro deck and not in most mid-range decks. So basically, if you get this out against an aggro deck or a mid-range deck, you just win the game. And finally, in first place here, the best card in Divine Order, in my opinion, is Cern the Moderator. This card does everything for 4 mana. After a creature is healed, draw a card. That alone is pretty cool, but he actually procs himself by, after you play this, heal each friendly character for 2. That means you can have a board full of creatures, your opponent has a few creatures, you trade your creatures, get your creatures wounded, take out your opponent's creatures, play Cern, he heals all your creatures, and then you draw a bunch of cards. And on top of that, not only does he... on top of that, he also gives Order +3 to an enemy creature, so you can take out one of their biggest threats just by giving it Order. You can take out a frontliner by giving it Order. This card does literally everything, and it's a 2/5 body. This one's pretty crazy. So in my opinion, Cern is bar none the best card in the entire set. So there you have it. I picked up a couple copies of some of these cards in higher tier shines because I think that they will be worthwhile once daily play to earn comes. 1, I have no idea when that will be. 2, I have no idea if it will be worth it. So do your own research. None of this is financial advice, and I'll see you guys next time.